I'm gonna predict the Town Hall 15 troop. I thought about some new mechanics that Clash of Clans has not added to troops yet, so let me give you some backstory on the troop, and then I'll talk about all the mechanics and how it's actually gonna look in game. The Master Builder was building his newest invention, an upgraded version of the flying machine from Clash Royale. Bigger, faster, and stronger than the regular flying machine. But a few days before he was finished this contraption, one night, 3 mischievous skeletons stole his contraption, loaded it up with bottles of poison, and used it to raid villages. But it wasn't quite finished, so there were some gaps in the bottom, and poison would constantly be leaking out of the bottom of the flying barrel. And this is my troop idea, the flying barrel. Basically, it's a bigger version of the flying machine piloted by 3 mischievous skeletons, and they use bottles of poison to throw onto threatening defenses below. But a unique thing about this is that it will constantly be leaking poison onto any buildings that it passes over. Any building that it flies on top of will start taking poison damage. So we have poison mechanics in the game that damage troops and heroes and also slow down their attack rate. We have poison spells and headhunters, which can be used for offense and defense if you put headhunters in a clan castle. But with this mechanic, it's going to damage buildings. Now, it won't slow down the attack rate of the defenses, but it will damage them over time, probably over a few seconds after they've gotten hit with the poison. So they're not only throwing large amounts of damage onto air targeting defenses, but everything they fly over will take a small amount of poison damage as the poison drips down onto it. A lot of troops will either target regular buildings or only target defenses, but the flying barrel will target air targeting defenses. So it will target archer towers, air defenses, inferno towers, and expos, but only when the expos are set to air/ground. If the expos are set to ground, it's not going to target them. The skeletons will throw bottles of poison onto the air targeting defenses as they're approaching, but they'll continue to throw the bottles of poison until they're right on top of it and until the defense is destroyed. The health bar of the flying barrel is divided into thirds. Each time a third of the health runs out, one of the skeletons will die, and the attack rate of the flying barrel will decrease because there will only be 2 skeletons flying it, but then when it gets down to 1 skeleton, it will be even slower of an attack rate. So as the flying barrel loses health, it will also lose its damage output, which is a really unique mechanic that we've never seen in a troop before. The flying barrel is a pretty big troop. It's going to take up about 25 housing space, which means it's going to have a ton of health, which also means it's going to be flying around for a long time doing poison damage to everything that it passes over, which is going to be crazy. But as I mentioned, it's also going to decrease the damage output as it loses health. The flying barrel is a very complex troop. Now, this specific troop probably won't come with Town Hall 15, but this poison mechanic to buildings will most likely come sometime in the future. I've tried to think of some unique mechanics, and I'm planning to do a video where I predict the next hero coming to Clash of Clans, so you'll want to subscribe so you don't miss that. If you want to visualize the flying barrel in game, think of a bigger version of the flying machine from Clash Royale, flying around with 3 skeletons throwing bottles of poison out instead of the Master Builder flying around with a cannon inside shooting defenses.